How can something as beautiful as this be dying? A plague is ruining the land, but the tree of life still stands. Question is, for how long? End is coming to the new world. The tribes stand divided, in need of someone strong enough to unite them, or bring them all down. This is a story with an unusual... Welcome to Biomutant. Encode your DNA. Define your genetic structure. Choose a genetic resilience. Choose your fur style. Pick your main color. Choose your detail color. Pick a class. Deadeye, Commando, Deadeye, Mercenary, Deadeye. Mercenary. Commando. Psyfreak. Deadeye. Deadeye chosen. That'll work. Here's somebody with a troubled past, drawn into the spotlight of a story that's already begun. We're already at a crossroads. Choosing a path in life is that fork in the road where you make a choice or simply stop living. But for you, it's not only a crossroad, but a choice, a reflection of you.
Let me introduce myself. I'm the light and bright side of you, or your inner voice to be...
Seems more like you're being light-headed if you ask me, but you'll come around. Eventually.
But what comes around goes all the way back around. So, it's better to stick to your instincts. You can't fight what's in your nature.
In your nature? And here I was hoping we'd be all...
Natural selection is all about evolution and progress, and as soon as there's enough light, darkness will disappear.
Right is always right. Stories of death and the bodies left behind. A reminder that we're at the mercy of nature and the one that preys on others. Do you remember the beast that shattered your family? Or did you choose to forget? You turned your back on our world and got lost in your own. Meanwhile, the predator only grew stronger. For it. This is not the time nor place to end this story. This time, it was best to run and live to fight another day. Let us hope you're ready for it when it comes. The predator isn't the only threat. The wildlife started to mutate when the end of days began, and the tree of life started to die.
Slice and dice.
Low tech, but it works. The oil sludges everywhere. To most, it only means death, but some have adapted to the new environment and changed with it. Evolution has its ways. Between the eyes. emergency box from the once was. A rare sight. That pipe looks weak. The claw bar should come in handy. Whoa! It's time to find a way out of this place. No, really, I mean it. The morks produce biomatter in their multi-organ that they shed under distress. Blobs that affect the cellular coding strands of any living being when absorbed, including you. Deadly. Toxanol built vessels called arks to save themselves from the impending doom. But was it too late? It is only from the flight logs of the single ark they left behind that we know other arks traveled through the sky and beyond. It seems those that came before us never lost hope in finding a new home for their kind. Toxanol built vessels called arks to save themselves from the impending doom. But was it too late? It is only from the flight logs of There are few records of the chain of events that led to the big apocalypse eons ago, but it's clear the world wasn't prepared for how recklessly the Toxanol Corporation would make its mark on the world. Their rare earth mining and nuclear industries generated tons of waste, and without consideration for the future, they dumped it all in landfills until they ran out of space. That's when they made the big mistake. They began dumping the toxic waste in the surf just off the coast instead, assuming that it would sink and decay with time. And they were right, but no one was prepared for what was about to unfold. Once in the surf, the radiation interfered with the genetics of the wildlife and created bizarre mutations in their offspring. It had an inconceivable impact on biodiversity and the entire ecosystem. The world as they knew it crumbled as nature retaliated. It would never be the same again, and what remained of it became ours. sound of spark metal going pew-pew is never a good thing. It's coming from behind that door. A warning label. The box looks like a potential brain melt. It's going to take a bit of puzzling to short-circuit the door. Just a few moves left. Make them count. There you go. The wheeled one is outnumbered. You'd better help him out. That's the last of them. Let's talk to the wheeled one before backup arrives. He wants to thank you for taking his side against the scavengers. He sounds familiar. You just can't figure out why. He presents himself as out of date. He knows he's way overdue, but he hasn't given up. He doesn't seem surprised that you don't recognize him. You were just a child back then, the night everything changed. There have been rumors of a one-eyed Ronin seen outside the Great Wall, and he's happy to see it's true. The legend of the one-eyed child that grew up as an outcast is old and sad. The child could have been anyone, but the evil it had fled had left a mark, a facial scar to remember the past. How Lupa Lupin somehow left you alive after his raid on the old village. He must have had a purpose with that. The question is, what? There's no doubt you're the child, and that what Lupa Lupin did to your village, your Muma and Popsy, was the beginning of the end. He says it has taken you a long time to bring the past back up to the present, to find your way back, but he's grateful you have. It was after the attack that the unity fell apart. Your Muma's disciples divided and formed tribes as a reaction to the blight. After the old village was destroyed and you disappeared, a struggle between the families erupted, and over time, the disciples turned against each other. Had it not been for the Tree of Life, no one would have survived. He hopes you at least remember the tree. Asks if you are tired, as it's a bit of a hike here from the village. He wonders if your Mooma knows you are here. You're such a good child, so you probably did. Even the young forget. He understands why you came all the way out here, to see them, the potato people. Magic? He claims it's just the force of life, the existence of energy, powering and connecting all things living, like the Nono. The Nono prefer to hide in glitter grass. He says you should get over there and ruffle it. See if you can make one come out of hiding. You found one. You should be proud. They don't come out for everyone. The Nono's key energy is just what the Pensai needs to complete its cycle and grow into a tree of life. The small tree you saw up there where you met will eventually grow into a tree of life and start giving back to nature. It'll be the heart of the land. You'll need to support the tree for a long time to come. The only way it'll grow tall is with the burst of ki released from the Nono as they become one with the tree. You'll need a net to catch the Nono, and he wants you to use his, but asks you to be gentle. The Nono are sensitive beings, an embodiment of ki, the primal energy. You handle that net like you've never done anything else. He's impressed. He's grateful for all the help he can get. There's lots of Nono out there that need to be... They're hiding in the glitter grass that... One day, he hopes the tree will have grown tall. But today, you're... Now that you've seen the From this day on, he'll make nurturing the pens. One day, the land won't be as peaceful. Not even your Mooma will be able. can already see the effects from how reckless those before us acted, and unless something he says you'd better hurry back to the village before your Mooma comes looking for you. You did good here today. No, she's got lots on her. He lost you there for a while, but no memory is alone. He says he remembers every single day he devoted to. The tree started to die when the end of days begun, and it wasn't long after that that the World Eaters arrived. The genetic evolution that occurred after the apocalypse that Toxanol Corporation inflicted on the land set the World Eater's DNA into overdrive. His friend Gizmo is working on a Mekton and needs help defeating the Jumbo Puff at the end of the West Route. Wiz is still repairing his octopod to confront the Merc Puff that dwells deep down under the surface at the end of the Northwest Route. Nocco has tamed the Midget and is preparing to take on the Hoof Puff at the end of the East Route. Finally, Goop is almost done with the Goo Glide, a machine able to ride the waves of the surf all the way out to the Porky Puff at the end of the route to the southeast. Out of Date says his friends are gearing up to. The road ahead won't be easy, but he's counting. He wants you to understand that you'll all. His friends have prepared something specific for each World Eater. The Mekton, the Octopod. Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the situation with the World Eaters. You're getting the hang of it. Quickest way out is through the roof where they came in, and the rope looks strong enough to climb. Know that the Tree of Life is dying. Its days are numbered. Without help, it can't endure the environmental change and assault from the World Eaters. A signpost maps it out for the cartographically challenged. Let's see. must be the World Eater that chewed off Out-of-Date's leg. You'll need a hat trick to bring that down. The World Eaters have made their marks on our world over time. That's not the first nor the last village it'll leave in its wake. Look, a survivor. Glad to see someone made it out alive. He's heard the stories about the terror inflicted by the World Eaters to other enclaves, but never... He doesn't know what your connection is to this place, but something tells him you've stayed... Anyway, he needs help and says it's by your actions you'll be judged, not by your intentions. He's grateful for that. You still seem...
That's a spark of light in you!
What's there to like about light? It hurts to look at.
Not as much as it hurts to look at you.
Always making this personal.
And you're always trying to pretend it's...
There's Out-of-Date again. He must have missed something important. Out-of-Date says you will make a better stand against the World Eaters with the support of a tribe. The Myriad tribe is likely to be a good match as they act on the understanding of the great... Regardless of who you choose, it won't be easy. The Myriad's conviction to stop the World Eaters began when the Leviathans rose from the depths of the surf. Siding with the Myriad's movement for wholeness in a fragmented world might seem like the logical thing to do, but is it the right thing? One thing's certain, though. Destiny arrives all the same. The Jagni tribe only ever had one conviction: to bring balance to the world by wiping out the weak. They believe a cleansing is necessary to restore the world and want to let the World Eaters bring down the Tree of Life. But siding with Jagni isn't necessarily a bad thing. Fate will find a way. Out-of-Date says someone needs to break the... He believes the tribe Sifus, Myriad especially, will listen to you and expects you to pay at least one of them a visit and play your part. Myriad is convinced that defeating the World Eaters is the only way the world can be saved, but they... Out-of-Date will be waiting for you Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war. Another fork in the road. It's either the tunnel or the motor bridge. What'll it be? It's a bridge. Just get over it. Person. That's the Myriad Tribe's fortress. Will they be friends or foe? You should head up there. That way you'll know. Let's see. It's a beaten path to that door. If you go there, you'd better make an entrance. Says they're wary of strangers. They're at war. Hopes you have patience. The Sifu can't stop himself from talking sometimes. Let's hope this isn't one of those days.
Sibi? Lafanen aginkan man. Geratna fal hutut mustugai la wute.
The Myriad tribe act on understanding of the greater good and a code of honor. They believe uniting the tribes is the only way to restore the peace. The Sifu is convinced that defeating the World Eaters and saving the Tree of Life is the only way to make the world a better place. He welcomes you to the Myriad Fort and introduces himself as the... But he was hoping you'd show up. The news of a vigilante Ronin on crusade crossing the Great Wall through the crack in Bunker 101 has preceded you. He heard you took out-of-date side against the scavengers in Bunker 101. It seems you believe in helping. He's convinced you've returned for a reason and is glad. There's something about your spirit that sparks memories of you as a kidling. He can still sense your... The Sifu says sometimes one memory can make another come to life. He hasn't thought about your Muma for ages, even though she taught him a lot. Your Muma invented Wung Fu. Originally, it consisted of unarmed combat and the 6 weapons, the boomerang, the shuriken, the bow. The Sifu says it's time to set the past aside, at least for now. Unrest. Myriad wants unity between the tribes. Their goal is, if you believe there's some good in everyone, there's still hope for tomorrow. You'll unite the tribes and defeat the World Eaters to save the
What?
He was hoping you'd join them. You understand that there's no harm in doing... The Sifu was waiting for something to tip the balance in their favor, and with you by their side, he's confident you can unite the other tribes. The one you should coerce first is the Jagni. The Jagni tribe may believe that fear and hatred will lead them to domination. A vanquisition of the tribes and destruction of the Tree of Life won't be the... Their kin have run out of options and found themselves backed into a corner. Even those who desire peace have been forced to prepare for war. They might bring them war, but they'll never take away. He wants you to focus. These are the new rival outposts your tribe needs to take control of. He says you'll regret not being on their side. The only way you'll learn their secrets, Wung Fu and the tribe weapon now, is if you defeat him. And that will never happen. You both have gentle minds, so they want to wage a gentle war. Tells you not to be afraid. Your fate cannot. Once you've dealt with the rivals' outposts, you'll challenge their Sifu to unite their tribe with yours and let your kin share. They passed the point of no return as their words lost power and see no other way forward than using Seeing you brings back his memories of... Myriad wants unity between the tribes. Their goal is He remembers your kind and unselfish soul and Anyway, the memories you make with your family are strong and can sometimes come to life. Passing the old village on your way to the first rival, even though it's now a different place from a Better beware, that's a mump up ahead. They were hit hard by evolution, the wonky ones especially, deformed and unfurred. Time is lost on this place, but it evokes a tingling sensation. There's something special about it, drawing you closer. Let's see. As time passes, memories fade, and sometimes feelings change. It's not about who you were, it's about who you'll become. This story is far from over. Echoes of a long-lost past, like whispers in the wind. Here's someone who takes each day as it comes. He asks how you are today. Goop says he always does better whenever he leaves failure behind. He wonders where you've been. He hopes you've been out at the lake, practicing your swimming technique. Learning to swim can be scary when you don't know what you're doing. But fortunately, he thinks you should really know how to swim by now. Why not? There's no better time to do what needs to... He says that wasn't too bad, was it? At least you learned that you'll drown. But you need practice. Lots of practice. Great things usually happen to those who never stop. You just need more time in the surf. That's the only way you'll ever learn how to swim. You can never try to... Judging by your Mooma's look, it seems you forgot something. You promised you'd train with her before the sun goes down. It's time to go. You know you can't make up for lost time. You should know, practice makes perfect. As long as it doesn't kill you, it'll only make you stronger. She'll see you at the village square. She says that's good. With a passion for learning, you'll never cease to... Here's another familiar face with lots on his mind. Asks how you're feeling today. His only interest when creating is that what he comes up with... He was hoping you could help him pick up some scrap for a thingamajig he's working on. He's happy to hear that from someone that's a part of the coming generation. You should... He wonders what usefulness you found. He says he can work wonders with almost anything and asks if you know how to upcycle. He says only a few will... He'd love to teach you to... You did well, but he can't help but wonder why you decided to craft a weapon. He appreciates those able to... He understands, but hopes you won't be needing it anytime soon. You're not in this world to live up to his expectations. He's looking for... It looks like she's starting to lose her patience. You know she doesn't like waiting for you. She wants to see you on the village square right away. Then you've got a good excuse. You share a responsibility. She wants you to grow up and start thinking for yourself. You really need to... That's all she's ever asked of you. You've always followed your own path, but this time she needs you to follow. Then start by meeting her on the village square. They look determined. Better watch out. He asks you to stop right there and wonders where you think you're going. He says that it's not too late for you to turn back, though. There's no way that... He wants to know who you think you are. You'll have to face pain at some point. He offers to help you get it over. She asks if you're hurt. What happened? If confidence is silent and insecure, the most... It's time to focus on your training now. Here's someone close to heart, doing what he does best. Seeing you always puts a smile on your Popsy's face. He heard you helped Giz. He asks if you could help him. He wishes that was true for your Moomer too, but guiding... He suggests you get going and find him gadgets and ideas for how you can upcycle some old...
schon.
He's curious to see what you found.
Zif.
He's all for renewal and has even considered making the trip out into the...
Dalemaya.
He can work wonders with pretty much anything and asks if you know how to upcycle.
Vedse njavov.
Thinks some are and some aren't. One thing's for sure, though, your Mooma thinks it all takes...
Vaksa ush inta badan.
He says it's about time you learned how and offers to teach you.
Zatunak. Vaksa ush inta badan.
The style might be too edgy for his taste, but it looks sharp on you.
Lafea nuch.
He knows she's already proud of you, and every...
Vuksu iskualea yoshkava.
You should take it with you, wear it to practice.
Tudu baba.
He thinks you should. She'll be proud.
Tiava.
He's looking forward to seeing what you'll make next. It seems you have a talent.
Canjalano toro.
Your Mooma says it's about time you got here.
Canjalano toro.
Hopes you're as ready as you claim.
Amun. Canamunta.
She says she is eager to get started. You don't...
Canamunta. Volakamunum rutna.
But there's enough time left for repetition, and you need it. Training dummies don't hit back.
Masamal.
That's a good attitude as long as you keep...
Kodotuku.
Your Mooma says you did well today. She's so proud of you.
Narolute.
That's all she's ever asked of you.
Canaruta. Kodotuku.
Been working on a present for...
Andro. Inadabsunka.
You should go see him and find out what it is. You've deserved it.
Yo no massaman barut.
Says he's always thought so well of you. Catchy.
Ferena masalapu.
Your Mooma says she's never seen an apparatus as green as this little thing. It's wonderful.
Inadabsunka.
She's happy you appreciate what I've...
Mustiki muhka. Volakamunum rutna.
A piece of Scraptronics like this has built-in old...
Can't see.
It's called an automaton, and it's hardwired to your DNA. It'll follow wherever you go and see whatever you see. You're lucky to have such a...
Sana yode.
Your Mooma says you look tired. No wonder. It's been a long day.
Amun.
She's so... Rest, and you'll find strength for tomorrow. Nothing could stop Lupa Lupin from setting the world on fire. Your Mooma urges you to blaze a trail. A burnt kidling will learn to dread fire. Give it a last burst and you'll make it. That's just adding fuel to the flames. Your Muma says this is it. The time has come. She must fight Lupa Lupin. This time there's no escape. He wants to destroy her. The time to fight is coming, whether she's ready for it or not. Whatever happens, you... She tells you to stay back. This is her fight. It has nothing to do with you. History... She loves how brave you are, but she can't be worrying about you while she fights. This is her. Here it comes. The past coming to haunt the present. You must go through fire and water to make it out of here. Your Muma says you can make it if you believe in it. Where she goes, you go. Blood is thicker than water. You're in deep surf. Don't make waves. The surf goes where it wants to go. It'll take you to the shore as long as you go with the flow.